Hey, I'm Wendy, and I'm a recovering perfectionist. Maybe you are too. I've noticed that we perfectionists share 7 common habits, and today I'm offering some silly scribble practices that will help you learn to release these debilitating habits.
When perfectionism takes over, I am totally focused on the final outcome. I leave the present moment and focus on the future. I push myself past my capacity so I can reach the goal I've set for myself no matter what. Scribble practice is teaching me to come back to the present moment, to make decisions based on what I feel curious about in each moment, to ask what color, shape, and material is calling to me, and to follow those callings, even when what comes out is a smudgy mess like what you see here. I don't need to like it or keep it. It's not about that. Give it a try. Offer yourself permission to make a smudgy mess and see what comes up for you. When I'm in perfectionist mode, I become obsessed with rules. Whatever I'm doing, you can bet I've done a ridiculous amount of research and come up with highly specific rules for what can and cannot happen in order to complete a project to gold standard expectations. The grip around these rules gets tighter and tighter until I feel like I can control the outcome. When I'm scribbling and my mind wants to put rules around what I'm creating, I gently notice that and let it know that those rules don't have a place here. The mind tries to sneak rules in for me all the time. Like this day, when all I wanted to do was fold paper in an accordion. My mind said, "That's not scribbling." And I agree, it's not, but I did it anyway. Let scribble practice help you notice the random rules you've set for yourself and break them in a safe space. Perfectionists often feel like they're the only ones who can do a job properly. There is an intense amount of self-reliance. Perfectionists feel let down by others when they can't perform to the highest standards. My feeling is that if you can't trust others, you probably can't trust yourself fully either. With scribble practice, you can sit in front of a blank page without an agenda and practice trusting that something will come out. It could be something silly, but whatever comes to mind, put it on the page. Practice trusting your instincts, and creativity will support you. Procrastination and perfectionism go hand in hand. The standards perfectionists set for themselves are often so high that it feels impossible to get started. As soon as the mind gets too involved in something, procrastination can kick in. If you give yourself space to create whatever arises in the moment, there's no place for procrastination. So give yourself an easy place to start this scribble practice by drawing or painting yellow circles all over a page and see what comes of it. As a perfectionist, you may find you have high expectations of yourself and others, which leads to being a highly critical or judgmental person. To practice lowering your expectations, I find it helpful to set a time parameter on your scribble session. In the beginning, this makes creating something that's less than standard easier to swallow. You have something to blame for your failure, the clock. Give this a try. Set your timer for 1 minute and put some marks on the page. Then do it again and again. Keep doing this day after day until you're able to lower expectations of yourself and play on the page with a bit more ease. When perfectionism has taken over a life, there is a seriousness that looms. It can feel heavy, like a dark cloud weighing you down. I've loved learning to laugh at myself again. I'm building humility and becoming more comfortable with making mistakes. How have I done this? I make a lot of really bad art, and you should too. The more bad art you make, the more humble you become, and the more you can laugh at yourself. Being able to laugh at situations helps in feeling the big and small joys of life. It lifts the dark loom and just adds a beautiful light. When you don't stop to congratulate yourself for a job well done, perfectionism is showing itself. Instead of enjoying the fruits of your labor, you're just on to the next perfection conquest that might bring you love. I noticed I've been doing this in the strangest way this year. I brought perfectionistic ways into my scribble practice by only feeling comfortable with the piece if I didn't like it. This was the new standard I had set for what scribble practice needed to look like, a new set of rules. So I switched things up and created slow Sundays, where I bring the intention to create something I like while also focusing on process and going with the flow. I'm not sure I would have been able to do this at the beginning of my practice, but if you're feeling ready, try creating a piece where you focus on process while adding the intention of making something you like. No one else needs to like it, and it doesn't have to meet any standards of beauty. It just needs to be something that pleases you. And then celebrate that. If you'd like to dive deeper into any of these practices, here's a playlist of all of them. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.